real Zen activity, is putting the pieces back together in the box.
In the box.
Because it all fits perfectly.
Oh, yeah. So
and now the cat's already on the floor.
Created the piece first, the most important thing was to have the box.
No. No, no, no.
Oh, you created and then found the box that you could work?
Yeah, it just worked out, yeah, that this box fit it perfectly. No. No, there was no... That's why, like, I was taking this art class, and this girl gave me feedback on some of my work, and she said, some of this stuff doesn't look intentional. It looks unfocused. And I said, well, what is it? How do you have intention so much when you're creating? Because it's... The act of creation is, by nature, something new that you don't have in this moment. So how do you...
Hopefully.
Right, so how do you set out with intentions?
There are too many artists who know too much of what they are planning on doing.
Well, then you're making product.
Right.
Not art. And so it's like...
What's interesting, though, about that is that then, so every object you're making, every piece of artwork you are making, you start with this fresh outlook. I don't know what I'm doing. That's how I start with my writing. I have no idea where it's going. I have an idea. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to flow with it, and then I'll let it sit and mull over it. And then in the next draft, I have more of an idea of what I want to do, and I do focus, but it's still... I'm always actually still trying to make sure that I don't know everything. One of the most important things about whenever I'm writing a story, so that I really don't know everything that I'm trying to tell.
Well, you can. The fun thing about creating and in the medium of writing, I would imagine I ask this as a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the coded language. I thought a lot about that. I can't do coded language, that step the brain has to take for the lines, because to me, I see they're lines, curved, straight, sticks, circles, you know, but then that means another language. But the visual stuff, so my question, I guess, in somebody who works in the medium of the coded language,
right.
the need to create. What's that, like, for me it feels a bit of an addiction. There's different narratives to it. I mean, it means something different for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes I feel it's universal, and then it's like, because some humans don't create. And that's like, we are doing what we are doing as creatures. But the others that have this, like, obsession, I think sometimes I feel it's a broken thing in me. But I don't know how how do you experience it as this urgency to put it out?
It's a very interesting, good point. I never look at it as wasting time. My creative endeavors, whether it'll be successful or not successful.
Manic periods. Do you ever have periods where you work, like, where it's unbalanced?
Sure. I fortunately have an unbalanced life of trying to make enough money, so I don't have that ability. I mean, my ideal way of working would be actually just like an 8-hour day of having a time frame of in an 8-hour workday. I mean, really? I feel like a part-time writer now because I can write 3-4 hours a day. I sneak it in. You know, but a full-time. I actually think I would be.
Like, I mean, everybody has to have that. You have to have balance.
Well, I mean, an 8-hour day to me is balanced.
Yeah,
it would be work day.
So why are you unbalanced? You have this space. I mean, you have this space you're creating. So this is a very creative endeavor. And, you know, what's the message you're trying to get out in your written word? And what is you have a message here that's very... So as far as compensation and recognition, that's hard. That's stuff that drives, like, But I don't know if that's like a...
Let me just, I'm not sure if I'll be answering your question, but let me just answer for whatever feelings I got from whatever you were trying to strive at as to, and I'll just express myself that what am I doing? You know, I sit in a place, and I spend a lot of time, writing, seeing visuals in my head, writing it down, and whatever it is. I go back to it sometimes, and it sucks.
To be written?
Yeah, it has to be written for me. And then because it's a story that actually unfolds. There's an initial visual, and then it unfolds as it keeps going along, and then there's another visual. It's like going through a maze and seeing other visuals that I then am writing about, that I am trying to get to. I'm trying to get through this maze, perhaps like the maze in Stephen King's The Shining.
This is a living object.
It's living.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so great. Now, the thing about it is that I can go back to it, read it, and say, this is fucking dead. Or I could say, wow, this came from me. I don't even recognize this. It's a gift. It's from somewhere else.
It's a voice that you have. It's a meta. It's a meta, and it's a voice, and it's something that I feel the same. Like, I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know when things come out, and they're telling me something. And so it's like this was very processed, and in the process, it was teaching me.
Right.
So that there's a greater intelligence than myself that I am learning. There's a wiser voice.
There's a wiser voice.
Right.
That is, you know, that is what I'm trying to attach to. And sometimes I read my stuff and I say, what I've written is so much smarter than, and fun.
It's ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what that my biggest fight is with ego. My
Everyone's is, because everyone.
Some people have very
but I think that right, and I struggle with it. That's why I'm a 50-year-old who's struggling to with writing still, instead of having already, being in my 4th book or 5th book or whatever it is.
Wouldn't matter, would it?
Would it matter to me? It would. No. What it matters just in terms of how long it took my ego.
Oh, we're talking ego now, not
right.
Dharma.
Right. And exactly. So it is what it is, and you learn that it is what it is. But I think it would be nice to one day be able to just. I think I would be happiest just having that time frame of a schedule.
Don't you feel that's a little bit of and I say everything as questions. A lie? You will be happiest when?
Well, you know what? It is what it is. I'm happy doing it how I want, but sometimes when I think about things, I feel like that ideally I would like to have that time instead of doing anything else. I would like to have that 6 to 8 hours a day where I'm just spending dedicated to trying to get in touch with that higher.
Yeah, and yet you became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, but did I become an entrepreneur? Look at this shithole. This is not an entrepreneur. I wasn't after Wall Street.
Words are.
I was after visuals. I was after, really, if you look around here,
The Invisible Man.
I was after. Oh well, yeah, definitely. I have a definitely phantom quality to my life. But if you look around at the stuff that I've chosen,
yes, it's curated.
It's curated for a particular viewpoint.
Yep.
And it's for a particular viewpoint that will help.
You're communicating it.
And I'm communicating it, and and it's a visual.
You communicate it to me right away.
It's a visual dedicated to still trying to get to that higher point of where I want to get to.
If one has ever had, chemical interactions with their brain to alter their perspective.
It is called the Psychedelic Vaudeville Show, after all.